Hey guys, I'm Coach Jeff. Today's advice is about why your feelings for women don't matter. And I know there may be some immediate pushback upon hearing that idea, but in this video, I'm going to explain to you why men have been socially conditioned to focus way too much on their own feelings when it's really the woman's feelings that matter the most. And I'll help you understand how to impact her feelings positively. But before I get into it, I would love if you subscribe to the channel for more free advice on dating and relationships. And the fastest way to get my help is if you head on over to elevatemyrelationships.com, click on coaching at the top, and choose from one of the options. Let me paint a quick picture for you and see if this sounds familiar. You're watching a rom-com on Netflix or Hulu or whatever streaming service it is, and a lot of stuff happens and it goes along, but somewhere through the middle, there's a guy who's really interested in a girl, and all of a sudden she starts to back away and become less interested. Then, in well-acted desperation, the guy says something to her like, "But you're the only one for me. I love you so much." The girl then suddenly runs over to him, jumps into his arms, and they ride off into the sunset forever in just pure happiness. Yeah, that's all bullshit. You need to get that out of your head immediately. Now think about a time in your life, and if you're a little bit older, I know you've definitely experienced this, and if you're a little bit younger, you need to pay attention so you can avoid this from happening. But think about a time in your life when you're either dating somebody early on or in a relationship and you started to act in a certain way and your partner started to back off and become a little bit more distant. Whether you know it or not, your actions cause her attraction level to drop and she starts to back away. It got to that point where she was seriously considering breaking up with you and kind of sat you down for the talk and sort of said that she needed some space and needed to figure things out. You then said something like what all the guys in the shows and movies said, like, "You're the only one for me, but I love you so much. I'll do anything to be with you." Did she just automatically snap out of it and jump into your arms and you ride off into the sunset together? She probably wasn't fazed by that at all. And it didn't really change the direction she was headed in terms of wanting to break up with you or leaving you. And if she did stay with you a little bit longer, it probably wasn't for very long because her feelings really haven't changed and your behavior probably didn't change at all. This is the conditioning that's just hammered into us from Disney movies when we're young all the way into these rom-coms when we're adults. There's this myth that the man just has to relentlessly pursue the woman, shower her with all this emotional things, and continuing to plead his love for her, and eventually she's going to come to her senses and realize, yeah, you know what? He is the one for me. It's essentially focusing on how his feelings for her are and nothing else. This is actually dead wrong. What actually matters is her feelings for you. This is why it's important to understand the dynamic of how women's feelings grow at a slower pace, and that men must add a little bit of mystery and obscurity into how they feel, especially when they're first starting to date. So those examples in all the TV and Disney movies and whatever it is about how just continuously be relentlessly pleading and throwing your love on her, and eventually she's going to turn around, pretty much in all cases is entirely false. Another area guys make a big mistake is over-romanticizing their vision when they just start dating a girl. Guys will go on a date, it went really well, and she's really sexy and they're into her, and they just start picturing every possible thing in the future with her. The more they do this, the more they start acting out their own vision and feelings, and they don't understand that the woman's pace grows a lot slower, so all these actions that they start to take based on their feelings and vision are going to have unintended consequences with her. Then they start to display these feelings for her very early on, and it takes away the mystery from his standpoint, so she starts to become a little bit more confused because her feelings are still in that developing process. Bottom line is that your feelings obviously do matter because it's important that you like her, but in terms of attraction and growing for her, they don't matter at all. What matters is how you make her feel. This doesn't matter if you're in the early dating stages of someone new or if you've been in a long-term relationship. You have to pay attention to how her feelings are for you and how your actions are going to cause her attraction level to drop. If you're focusing way too much on your feelings and not paying attention to hers, because, if you're in a long-term relationship, you get complacent and start focusing on other things and not paying attention to that, wow, her attraction is dropping a little bit, maybe things aren't as spicy or whatever it is. You need to pay attention to that because it's the same whether you're dating someone new or in a long-term relationship. You need to pay attention to how her feelings are for you and act appropriately. What happens in the long-term relationships is that guys get way too focused on themselves. They're probably just happy that they got her in a long-term relationship and they think everything is going great. So they're not paying attention to her feelings and what level they're at. So her feelings start to drop a little bit, and if the guy continues to act in unattractive ways or not focus on her at all, it's going to get to a point where she's almost breaking up with you or is breaking up with you. That's why so many times you see a guy thinks everything's going great and all of a sudden the woman's not happy and she breaks up with him, and they just basically say, "It came out of nowhere. I had no idea she was going to break up with me. I had no idea she felt this way." That's what most guys do. They go, "Hey, I had no idea she was unhappy. It came completely out of nowhere. I'm completely blindsided by this breakup." And then they start to panic. You no longer have that excuse because after watching this video, you're not like most guys out there. So you understand now you have to pay attention to her feelings. So if you have a dating or relationship problem and want my help, you can send an email to questions@elevatemyrelationships.com, and I may make a video out of your email for coaching purposes. And the fastest way to get my help is going over to elevatemyrelationships.com and clicking coaching at the top and selecting one of the options. I will see you guys next time.